Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. My name is Gage. I'm also known as Mixel. I'm a local DJ and mashup artist from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. And today I'm going to be doing a couple interview questions and just like talking about myself a little bit. So let's get started, shall we? So first question here is, when did I start mixing? And I want to say it was about 3.5 years ago. It was July of 2017, if I did my math right. Yeah, it was about then. And I got these really cheap decks used off like Guitar Center or something like that. I don't remember the exact site, but I absolutely loved every second of mixing. And I'm like, I want to do this like full time. Like I would love to do this as like a full-time career. So 3 years have passed. I've been upgrading my gear and making everything better and figuring out my niche, which I focus now on trance music, but I do expand into deep house, all sorts of other stuff too. But mainly trance music is the majority of what I play. What is my zodiac? I'm actually a Capricorn. I'm born in February. Yeah. I know they shifted around the zodiac signs and everything, but I think I'm still a Capricorn, if I remember right. It's either Capricorn or Aquarius. I forget. I'm so bad at that because I don't really follow zodiac signs that much. But how did I get my DJ name? Well, I actually used to follow this one artist very closely named Pixel, Pixl. Very similar to spelling of mine, just with a P instead of an M. And I loved his music. I loved everything about like his style and everything. And over time, I realized I'm like, I gotta make my own name because my previous name just wasn't cutting it. It used to just be Narwet, which is really not professional sounding. It just sounds out of place really for a professional DJ. So I definitely wanted to change it up. And since I loved Pixel so much, I decided to make it my own because I love mixing. So I made it Mixel instead of Pixel. All right, top influential artists for you who pulled you into the scene. Top one is most definitely Artie, or also known as Alpha 9. He has both aliases. His music it's really just something else. He's got solid melodies, he's got good beats, his mashups and his live performances are incredible. I love seeing him every time he comes nearby. So he's definitely my number one. Close second is going to be Ilan Bluestone. His music is so high energy. I don't know how he does it. I've been trying to learn how to produce, and I've been using him as a reference point. But it's hard, man. He's really good at what he does. Like he's definitely got a niche for that. The third artist, I probably have to say Mayor Levy. I love his music. I've actually managed to message him once or twice, and he responds really quickly. He's a really genuine guy, and I really love all his remixes are like top tier. Like some of his remixes, like they're not even released just because of like licensing and everything, but love his mixes, love his tracks, love basically everything about the dude. So who have I opened for until now? So the two main artists that I'd probably reference that have been like my main high tier DJs that I've opened for. The first one was, I want to say it was Dallas K was first. I listen to his music a lot too. He's got very nice, energetic tracks and definitely a different vibe. I don't know. His music just hits differently, I guess. So he was the first guy I opened for, which was a ton of fun. And it was the first time I ever played in a club scene, which again was pretty incredible to do. So, and the other guy that I've opened for, or other guys I should say, is Tritonal. They came to Philly one time and like I begged this promoter, I'm like, please put me on, please put me on. I really want to open for them. I love their music. Their music is high energy as well. Like most of the artists that I follow, you're gonna realize are pretty high energy, and Tritonal is definitely one of them. Like their tracks like Anchor and Jinsu and other tracks like that, absolutely love them. So it was really cool to open up for both Dallas K and Tritonal, and then be able to see them perform afterwards. So I was definitely appreciative of being able to open for them. Artists that I want to open for but haven't got a chance yet. Well, going back to my top list of three influential artists is definitely going to be Artie, Ilan Bluestone, Mayor Levy. I would love to open for Tritonal again and get to know them a bit better because I didn't get to really do too much talking to them. I talked to them for like a minute or so and then like swapped out. But I mean, I'd definitely love to open for them. Okay, next question is trance techno or deep house? This is a tough one because I never really got into the techno side of things, and I get the idea of it. It's like it's got the deep melodies and everything, but deep house it still maintains its melodies that you'd find in other tracks. It's just it just focuses more on the bass line more than like the higher pitched melodies. And I think I gotta go with deep house because sitting in a club environment, listening to deep house where your chest is just vibrating, I love that. So much fun. Favorite label is definitely gonna have to be Anjuna. Actually, it's a tough tie because I do like both Anjuna and Armada. Partially because Artie is released on both of them. So both of those labels are top tier for me. Close third would probably be Monster Cat. They put out a lot of good tracks that you don't even like know, like from mainstream artists like Vice Tone, Coven, like really different names. So absolutely love it. Next one is Anjuna Deep or Anjuna Beats. Now, I did mention before that I love deep house, so I love that deep vibe and everything. But I definitely am going to prioritize Anjuna Beats more because I do like the higher melodies, the pianos, the chords, the strings, all of that. So I'm going to lean towards Anjuna Beats. So next one is FSOE, Cold Harbor Recordings, or Armada. So it kind of goes back to my other one where I'm going to lean towards Armada because Artie's released on there. You've also got tracks from Armin van Buuren, Alan Watts, like other big names like that. And I love a lot of their tracks. So that's definitely going to be Armada for me. Top 5 tracks I think I'm a diehard fan of. Let me actually pull up Spotify. You can actually do a search for On Repeat, and it'll tell you what your top tracks you just play over and over and over again. So one of the top ones is going to be Coven's Worth the Lie. It's a very fast-paced, high-energy D&B track. I don't listen to too much D&B, but like Coven tracks just like hit differently, if you know what I mean. I don't know, they're just like it's dangerous for me to listen to their music when I'm driving because I'll just get so pumped. I'm like, yeah, let's go faster, and then I shouldn't. So after that, I definitely do have also Above and Beyond's AI. Actually, just came across this track somewhat recently. I don't know if it just released recently or if I just haven't heard it until now. But that intro to that track is just it like especially with my speaker system and everything, like you feel it in your chest. And it's so good, so high energy, melodic. And then I do all sorts of transitions out of the track. You can put vocals on top of it. There's so much options for it. Another track on here that would probably sit a little bit out of place from the rest of the tracks is going to be Jonas Aiden's Tell Me a Lie. And this track was released quite a while ago. And I only came across his music, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. But it's weird. It's got energy and like, it's not something that you would normally find from this artist. He just like had this like one track that was just like out of his norm, and freaking love it. So that's definitely on the third spot there. All right, 4th track, we're gonna look here on my list because this is just easier if I just look at the list here. Oh yeah, we got Madion's Imperium. This is just an old track. I think this was one of the first tracks that got me into EDM, or specifically more this style of genre, because it originally started with dubstep and transitioned to house and then onto trance. So it's definitely a weird transition for me, but Madion's Imperium is definitely one of my top tracks. And after that, ooh, number 5. This is going to be a tough one to pick. I think I'm going to have to pick Ill and Bluestone's Will We Remain. That track is just so strong, so powerful. The vocals are great. Who is the vocalist? It's EL Waves, of course. She's got the greatest vocals I ever hear. So I want to see more vocals from her, actually. And partnering up with other artists, maybe like Artie or Mayor Levy. I think those groups would... Oh, Will We Remain is with Mayor Levy, so that already happened. All right, next question here. How come my mashups are so good, and am I going to release them? So right now, I don't have the capability to release them officially on any sort of like label or on Spotify or anything like that because they're mashups. I've seen very few mashups ever get on Spotify, and it's only because both artists have agreed to it. They went through a whole approval process, and I probably would not be able to do that. But I do put all my tracks over on my YouTube channel, which I will link down below in the bio if you do want to check them out. I do post a lot of mashups, a lot of the DJ like transitions that I absolutely love. I'll throw them up. Sometimes I'll even put up my full sets on there. Like I just recorded a set literally today for Arizona and Juna family. So make sure you guys check out my channel. I'm gonna be putting all that stuff up there. So how come my mashups are so good? I have a couple tricks. The first one is every night I listen to music very quietly. I have tinnitus in my ears, which basically means that I'll always hear a slight ringing in my ear, and it'll constantly be just in the background, just kind of ringing. And if it's dead silent, that ringing gets really loud. So I always play a little bit of music basically all the time to help with that. But because I play it so quietly, my brain sometimes doesn't hear the right track. It hears what it thinks it's hearing, and sometimes it'll hear vocals. And this is the first way that I've found to make mashups really easily. It's just like, I'll just start singing along to the vocals, and then I'll hear the background track change, and I'm like, wait, that's not right. But because my brain has put it together, it's subconsciously making mashups for me. I'm not even doing this consciously. The other main way that I use is called the DJ Camelot wheel. You might have seen it. It's got 12 numbers on it, 12A, 12B, that sort of designation. And using that system, you can create mashups that are very close to each other. Usually there's only like one note that's going to be not synchronized with the rest. So as long as like 2 notes don't line up like on top of each other, the mashup's going to sound pretty good. And I've actually had a few mashups where they're not in the same key, but they just sound good. Sometimes it's just playing it by ear and just thinking like, what would fit with this? With instrumentals, I'll look at tracks that are like the type of energy they have. If they're very calm, relaxed, sometimes you want a female vocalist that won't have as much punch in their voice. But other times you'll want EL waves to just rock out to Will We Remain. So there's definitely a variety, and you really gotta, you plan it accordingly. All right, next question here says, are you producing something as well, and have you sent it to any label? I have not yet. And you probably, if you watch any of my mashups or any of my live performances, I've got a keyboard behind me. And I've been meaning to learn music theory, which is the baseline behind making music, essentially, is understanding what notes work together and how they work together. So I've been in the process of trying to teach myself that, and that's the first step to really producing. You can kind of try to play it by ear, but I'm one of those people that really likes to understand the meaning behind why they work together, because that'll help me create more tracks in the future. So I'm in the process of learning to produce. I have not put out anything yet. I've tried sending a couple mashups to their original artists because maybe they'd be willing to put that out or something, or maybe even play it. But I haven't heard anything back yet. Hopefully in the future I'll be getting into that though. I have a good understanding of actually how to produce, like the actual software side of things. I just gotta learn how to do the music side of things. Have I ever played back-to-back, and with whom? So actually this past week I was playing for New York and Juna Family for their weekly set. I was playing alongside DJ Guy, and he lives up in New York, but I invited him to come down to me to the Philly area because I was hoping that together we could do small back-to-back, which we ended up doing. It was a 30-minute session. It was a ton of fun. Like, if you haven't seen it, I've put like little highlights on my Facebook page. I'll probably also put it on the Mixel page and Instagram and whatnot, so make sure you go check those out. I really appreciate all the love. Favorite venues? Ooh, this is a tough one. Avant-Gartner has, I'm probably mispronouncing, I'm so bad at names, I apologize. But Avant-Gartner is probably my favorite so far. The lighting setup that they had was actually pretty cool. I actually haven't been to too many venues. I don't explore much. I don't go really beyond Washington, D.C. or New York City. Those are like the main cities that I'll travel to, besides Philadelphia. But definitely Avant-Gartner, and I want to say there was another one. What's the one? There was one in Washington, D.C. I completely forget the name, and I'll probably get corrected in the comments or whatever. But there's a couple places in D.C. as well as New York City that I just like going to. So, what is my favorite festival? See, I've actually only been to one festival, so I don't know if I can really comment on this. But I went to Electric Zoo and had an absolute blast with it. Unfortunately, the one that I did end up going to because I was invited. Had like a limited artist list that I was really interested in. They did have a few Njuna artists, so I definitely went over to their sets and had a ton of fun with them. But I mean, I got to see a lot of cool artists. I got to see Martin Garrix, Cascade, Marshmello, like the big names like that, and it was honestly a lot of fun. Even though they're not artists that I really follow that closely, besides Garrix, I follow him pretty closely. But a lot of the artists, I mean, I didn't follow. I found new artists that I like, so I guess it's a win for me. So, a lot of cool artists. Deadmau5 or Eric Prydz with their whole stage setup. Ooh, see, this is tough because if we're talking current setups, I like Eric Prydz's setup. But if we're talking like any previous setup that they've had, just like preference-wise, I have absolutely loved Deadmau5's V2 of his Cube. That setup is so cool in the fact that it doesn't rotate around like the new one, but it's got like 9 individual panels that all shift around individually, and along with the animations on top of it, like if you're dead center watching that set, it literally looks 3D and it's amazing, and I absolutely recommend anyone to like go check it out on YouTube. They're really cool to watch live, and with the separate panels, you can do so much with it. And it's quite a while ago, and I only came across his music, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. Oh, you're gonna make me pick this. This next one is Ilan or Andrew Bayer. See, I like Andrew Bayer because his music is definitely original. It doesn't follow the mainstream like intro, break, like build up, drop, etc. He's got a little more melodic side to it, and he has his own sounds, which I really do like. Like his tracks like Voltage Control, Parallels, like both of those tracks are like solid examples of him making his own sound and just being original. So I want to lean towards Andrew Bayer, but I absolutely love Ilan Bluestone's tracks. I haven't found a track from Ilan that I don't like yet, so I think I'm going to say Ilan Bluestone for this. Do you think trance is dead or has changed? It definitely has changed. If you ever listen to older trance tracks, they aren't as high energy, so I think there's a bit of like a pop element that's kind of sneaking its way in. So trance has definitely changed since the original tracks. Like I played a couple tracks earlier today that definitely just don't have the same level of energy. So I think they've definitely changed towards more the festival crowd. At least the tracks that I listen to. There's tons of tracks that are still remaining like honest to their old trance styles, and I love those tracks too. But mainly the tracks that I play, I've noticed they definitely have a more high energy pop sort of energy. Don't drop my phone. I just closed out of the app. Son of a butt. Please give us links to your socials. I'll put all the links down below if you guys want to check me out. But if you want to check me out, I am Mixl, and I've got links on the back of my shirt to all my accounts. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Go ahead and check me out. I really appreciate all you guys. Tell us a little bit about your drone flying. So actually, besides this, I fly what's known as freestyle drones. They're not like the ones you buy at like Best Buy or anything that just like hover in place and cruise around. Like my drones, they're in full manual control. I can do flips, rolls, like fly through tiny gaps at like 100 miles per hour. Like these things are fast. And I absolutely love that hobby, and I've been doing that for 5 years now. So between DJing and drones, I've been keeping myself really busy. But I do run a YouTube channel for that too, so if you guys do want to follow me through those adventures, you'll see some pretty cool footage. I do have some footage I'm going to be putting on the Instagram as well. It's going to be Narwhat FPV. I'll put a link like right above my head. But if you guys do want to check that out, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I put some really cool stuff up there that you really can't see in too many other places. I mean, unless you follow other drone pilots, it's pretty original. And finally, it's a message to your friends, rave friends, community, and fans. Well, I really hope all you guys enjoyed this interview and listening to me talk a little bit about myself. I usually don't do this sort of stuff too often, but I really like opening up and showing how easy it is for someone else to get into this. Like everyone says that making music is hard and doing DJing is hard. While it does take a lot of practice to get into it, I think anybody can really do this. There's a lot of skills to learn on the way, but once you learn these skills and you find your own little niche and you figure out how to do things your own way, I think you can create some really cool stuff. So if anybody out there that wants to get out into DJing or flying into drones or anything like that, it's all doable. You just got to put in the effort, and you'll definitely see the returns if you put in the effort. So if you guys do want to get into that, please let me know. Message me. I'll gladly help you get set up. I'm actually talking to one of my friends to get her son a small DJ deck so that he can learn how to DJ and get started. So that could be very helpful to anybody that wants to get into it. If you do want that info, message me on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. I'll respond and we'll get you set up then. Alright guys, thank you all very much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed me babble on about myself for a bit. I hope you learned a little bit more about me, maybe like my preferences, who I like, etc. And maybe you'll see me behind the stage, on the stage, at some performance once COVID is over. I really hope to get back out there once COVID is over. So if you guys do like me and appreciate me, make sure you follow me on the socials everywhere. I don't know where I'm going to put the links, but I'm going to put them somewhere here. But check me out. I appreciate all you guys. Have a good one. See ya.